this Q&A, you think, oh, do you know what? I want to know a bit more about that. Just stick your hand in the air like a year 3 at an assembly, or stand up, do a little dance. Just make yourself known. Just be like, me over here. Yeah, a bit of house lights. Good, good initiative. This is Julian up here on the lights. Let's give Julian a round of applause. Give our thank you, Julian. It's been an absolute start. Okay, so I feel like we're on like a talk show, like great. Okay, so tell me about this. Okay, so all right, tell us about the film. Tell us about the film.
Alicia, do you want to start? Sure. That's a really broad question.
Yeah, tell us about it.
Okay, well, the film is about dementia. And it is a really important topic because it's like, as I've been talking to a few of the acts, some of them have, well, quite a few of them have had a family with dementia. So it's more common than I had thought before I first started researching it. But more than dementia, it's about the impact that it has on the family surrounding the person, and like about what they have to go through as well, because those are things that people have to deal with.
And you're the writer of this, so I'm kind of interested how, like, what your inspiration was. Did you draw upon things that happened to you? Was it an easy process? Was it difficult?
Yeah, well, to be honest, it didn't start off as a film at all. It started off as a project that I was doing in this self-development course, and it was really, like, the motivation behind it was to give people, like, give older or elderly people back their voice, because we kind of, like, I'd noticed that there was this big gap between, like, the younger generation and the elderly. There was like an us and them sort of thing going on, and I really wanted to bridge that gap because it's really important to me that everybody be heard. So I started the project, and then I reached out into Facebook, and then Andreea responded, and she was so yeah.
Desperation, you say, desperation.
No, it wasn't desperation. You were inspired. It touched you, like, and she was so excited about it, and so it became sort of like it was going to be a play first, and then it turned into it was going to be a TV, like a YouTube TV series sort of thing, and then we met this. He was a producer, marketing. What was Daniel? PR. He was PR. Yeah, something to do with PR. And
something high up.
Something with marketing and things like that. And it was a mistake, I think, because he misunderstood what Andreea was talking about, and he latched onto this idea about it being a film. And then, yeah, and then he had a talk with us, and I was like, a film? A film? I don't know how to write for a film. But it was, I think it was just something that was kind of meant to be.
Yeah. Sorry. So I know that what happened there was, so I was talking with Daniel, Jeff Norris, which is the lovely man that's made this possible for us, giving us a theatre, introduced us with Daniel and said that besides the fact that he had personal experiences with dementia as well, he knew his PR and he was passionate about film and about art, and we started talking, and from there it developed, because I said to him that's going to be a YouTube series about different illnesses, and then he said, no, I think we need to start thinking about the film, a feature
Start
film.
small and go for a feature film.
Well, because I think I said it many times, because the illnesses that we encountered in the care homes that we visited were so complex, so important, that a 15 minutes episode wouldn't be enough. They wouldn't do them justice.
Can't cover it.
Exactly. So we said, okay, let's focus on one subject and make it a feature film, because it's just too big, too important, and that's how we started talking about making a feature film, which is Light in the Darkness.
So how are you gonna pull it all together? I don't really know anything about film producing. Have you produced a film before? I'm just kind of interested, how you go about going, okay, all right, you've got a script writer. what do you do about finding a director and finding all those sorts of people to help out?
Well, yeah, but from this point of view, it's still early days, and for me as well as a producer, really, at all. I've never produced ever in my life.
You got to start somewhere.
Can you tell? Yeah.
Yeah, I've never presented somewhere, and look at me go.
Right?
But yeah,
yeah, so I decided to start. Oh, there's a hand up there.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Hi.
Just wondering if you could tell us anything about the story.
Yeah, it's still being developed right now, but what I've got so far is it's about a woman. Her name at the moment is Andreea, and she's like she's living her life, and then they go to this wedding. She slips and she falls, and obviously everyone's really worried. She goes to the hospital. Everything's fine. Well, not everything. She's got a bit of a concussion. But then as things start developing, she kind of she starts forgetting things, or she'll misplace things like that. And her family start getting a bit worried because that's not normal for her. And so they go to the doctors, and then there's tests and things like that. And then nothing's really discovered just yet. And I'm still working on the encounter with the doctors, because I'm not a doctor. I don't know what would happen, what the procedures would be. But then something quite bad happens. Yeah.
What, this is a twist, we're not allowed to know.
Something quite bad happens, and she decides that she's a danger to it's more dangerous for her to be with the family than being in a care home, where before she was really opposed to being in a care home. So she goes to the care home, and then from there, she just sort of really, as the years go on, she kind of just deteriorates, and she just it just gets worse. Yeah, it's in a roughly 15-year time span. And like I said, I wanted to focus more on the relationships with specifically her granddaughter, because that's something I can identify with a bit more as a writer, that kind of age gap. But yeah, I wanted it to be about the relationship between the family, the hardships they have to deal with, because I know that as a carer of dementia, it's really, really difficult for some people, and it's something that, from my experience, from what I've heard, you kind of brush it under the carpet, you kind of put on the front, because how can you not care for your parents or your grandparents or whatever it is? How can you put them in how? But sometimes you have to. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the reasons why we're making the film. Shed light. See what I did there?
Shed light. Yes.
Into such matters. I myself.
That's the raffle ball going again.
Yeah. I myself never dealt with dementia personally. I didn't know anything about it, and here I am, having learned so much more, and teaching my daughter as well about it, and I want to talk as much as I can about it, because it needs to. So this is one of the things that the film's already achieved. It's not even born yet. Very proud of that, actually. Got questions. We open the door. What do you want to ask?
Have you experienced anything about dementia?
You're not listening, are you? As usual, she's not listening. I just said I didn't. That's for you, is it?
I don't know. Who is it for?
Who is it? Oh, okay.
Right. I hadn't known, but my great granddad, when he was alive towards the end of his life, he had dementia, and my grandma and her brother, they had been caring for him. And actually, I hadn't realised that when I talked to her about it, she gave me all these stories, I guess. Not really stories, because it was his life, but stories about what he was going through at the time, what they had to go through. So at one point, he would just walk out the house, he would just leave, and it would be winter, and it'd be snowing, and he'd have no shoes on or no coat, and it was dangerous for him to do that. He didn't know who he was, and her brother was had to lock him in, but that was illegal. You're not allowed to do that to people, so long as they've still got they're still able to somewhat care for themselves. So actually, I don't think you can at all. I don't think you can lock people in the house at all. So it's things like that, like how can you can't be awake 24/7 to watch someone who can't do it physically. So in the end they had to put him into a care home.
Exactly. Yeah, that explains the question, isn't it? Because I've encountered it, talking about the film and the care homes, and I'm so appreciative of the people, because we visited care homes in research, of course, and they're doing a fantastic job, the ones that we've met, and then also telling that to other people, and they were like, how can you, as you said, how can you put them in care homes? How can you not look after your elders? It's unheard of, and you understand through this, and we hope again to make it clear why something like this is necessary through our film. And Alicia does that brilliantly in her script. The twist is sort of, I love it.
Questions? We've got the lovely Italian lady down here.
So if I heard right, this is going to be different from other films because it's going to actually show it from the point of view of the person affected by dementia. And I think that's going to be a challenge for the director of this film as well. Do you have already someone in mind?
Are you a director trying to put yourself?
No.
No, we are hoping to have a good script, and then we're going to start searching for a fantastic director, yes, and a fantastic script. Sorry, we have and actors. So yeah.
Yes.
I just wanted to know, for the writer, you mentioned that your script talks about dementia, which is onset from an accident, as opposed to natural onset dementia. Was it a conscious choice, or was it just sort of how the script developed?
When I was from what research I've done, it's I've briefly talked to a doctor about it, and it's different for everybody. But what had happened was, in my mind, what had happened was that really she had always kind of developed it. It's just that the accident kind of made them more conscious of it, rather than oh no, she's just forgot her keys, it's fine, she's just getting a bit old. It was, no, this could be something to do with her hitting her head. So they were just more conscious of it, rather than, that was in a way like a plot device, I guess, because otherwise people go years just thinking it's something maybe eccentric. I was talking to my friend in the break, and he was saying that his grandma, was it? Mom? Grandma? They just thought that she was being really eccentric, but it was potentially that she had Alzheimer's and dementia.
Well, she's the writer. Wow, yes, thank you.
I'll go there first.
Hi, you were talking about how you were doing researches by going into homes. Can you tell us one of the stories?
Yeah, absolutely. I think because initially we, as I said, we were looking for different illnesses. So they introduced us, the people from the care homes introduced us to different people with different illnesses. And I hope in this lifetime to get around talking and making films maybe about that. But and we got to, I think that the lovely lady that touched me with dementia was when we visited, the three of us, the lovely, quiet, so small lady that seemed okay at first, and she was, as she was talking more about, because she knew why we were there, kind of, I think. We had told her that we're making a film, short film at that time. And we, so she knew, so she started talking about her life, and she was so proud. She was showing us pictures from her grandchildren, presents that they got her. And I think shortly after she started thinking, my daughter is her granddaughter, and because she was really personable with her, and she took her hand, and she was so small and so fragile, and it really did touch me, actually, really emotional, really. Yes, it was. Yeah. It was beautiful to see. Well, beautiful and very sad to see something like that. And she was so gentle with us. So it almost felt like, okay, let's leave her alone. And another episode I think worth mentioning was when we, I was there by myself actually, and there was a lady that was going to talk to us, and the nurses have told us she's absolutely fine, she's happy, just give us 5 minutes to change her, and she'll be fine. And then she started screaming. She got very upset by something. I think she was imagining that she has some bandages and a really bad wound, and she was screaming that she's going to die, and could there be a doctor? And initially I thought, it's me, is there nobody there with her? Because me being the not knowing anything about dementia, I was like, really? You know, what's this? She's screaming, is there nobody? And then I saw three nurses there trying to calm her down and to help her. And you go like, you know, I was gobsmacked by it. I think I quickly wrote you a very lengthy email telling you what I had seen. Yeah, so absolutely, these are so inspirational. These sadly, I'm not the writer, so I can't put them in words, but it gave me the motivation to make this film.
Do we have another question down here? Yeah.
Yeah, is it going to be a short or a feature, and how much money are you trying to raise?
It's going to be a feature film, yeah, and I don't want to say something. Don't know.
I mean, this fundraiser we're having now, this is a kind of a bit of a step in the right direction, but it's also about awareness.
Yes.
More than anything else. You also wanted to, you were telling me you wanted to do a
crowdfunding. We do need to start crowdfunding, yes. I mean, having you here is a wonderful, wonderful support. Thank you again for being here. It means a lot to us. And every little pound, more than that little actually, that you pay is going to go into our budget. But of course, as you probably can imagine, it's not enough. So we're going to have a crowdfunding. To be honest, until the script is all set, I can't really estimate how much we're going to need, because you have to consider locations and actors and all that, and I can't tell you that yet. I'll be producing later.
That's the exciting stuff. That's stuff you can look
I'll
out
keep you
for
updated.
on Facebook and
We
Twitter.
need
That's the secret.
£500 from you. Can you give it from you each?
Would you say is that the biggest challenge you're going to face?
Yeah, I think so.
The budget.
I have to admit it. I'm just beginning. I don't know very much.
It's fine. We've got to start somewhere.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm learning as I go, and I'm loving it. If it takes me 20 years to make this film, I'm still going to make it.
I think that's the thing. It doesn't matter how much experience you've got. If you're passionate and you want to do something, you can do it.
Yeah, I think I'm learning, and I've got a wonderful support from people. So, yeah. Again, applause to you guys actually for being here tonight, please.
Hey, I wanted it. You want it.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, question over there.
Why do you think people should be more aware of dementia? Because even though it's a difficult topic, it should be important for others.
So it was, why do you think dementia needs to be understood by others? Yeah, why do you want to get that one out? Yeah.
Well, for starters, it's such a big thing. Like, a lot of people have it. So if we're able to have people be more aware of it, they're able to go then and go to a doctor, or take their family member to a doctor and see if there's something, so that they can catch it a bit earlier. And with modern medicine, I think it's a lot easier to handle it now than it has been previously. So that's the first reason, I think. And the second is just it's such a big thing and it affects so many people, and it's not talked about as much as it could be, and as much as it should be. So, and I think a film is a really good way to do that, because especially with with my generation or younger generation, it's a lot of their information is taken in through media or through visually, and I think it will just be a really good way to get that information across, or at least to get them starting to think about, maybe this could be happening.
Yeah. And it's, again, since I've started talking about the film, a lot of young people, such as yourself, have told me, it's great you're making a film about dementia, I know nothing about it, and they get to appreciate as I said, not the severity, not only the severity of the illness, but also the people that are caring for the patients, either at home or in the care homes. What they go through, as Alicia was saying, how hard it is to have a vigil 24/7, and how, as for example, the monologue that Jessica did was based on a true story, and it talks about how the young one, needs to understand, why does grandmother not, doesn't recognize me anymore? Why maybe I've read a lot of stories, why is she violent? Why she's changed so much? Why, whoever. So for them to understand that as well, if we get to draw in a young crowd like such as yourself to this film, then again we've done half of our job, and yeah, it's very important to us to do that.
Yeah, I think it is about the understanding, and it's with like any mental illness, there's still quite a lot of sort of stigma, and people don't really understand what it is. It's so easy to look at a broken leg and just be like, oh, that's a broken leg, let's get that fixed. When it comes to illnesses of the mind, it's so much harder, especially if you're on the outside or you don't know anyone in that state to understand it. And I suppose making a film, those people that aren't necessarily affected by it but might know someone that is, that's going to give them kind of a bit more understanding for the whole situation.
The empathy and the compassion and everything, which actually, if I'm allowed, I've probably seen it on the posters. There was another lady that was supposed to join us tonight, the artist, Doxy, and sadly she couldn't make it. She wanted to be involved tonight in the gala because her mother suffering of Alzheimer's, and she's been suffering for 20 years. And I think she said yes excitedly. She approached me to be in the gala, and we're like, only too glad to have her, because she's dedicated all her artistic life to memory and to her mother, I suppose. And I think the more she thought about it, the more emotional she became, and she couldn't bring herself to talk in front of the public about it. But so she apologised profusely, and she wrote a statement, if I'm allowed to read it. A question first, yes?
Yeah, maybe a statement. It seems like the project's in the embryonic stage.
Yeah.
Is there anybody out there in the audience that thinks that they could add, or know somebody who could add to the development of this film?
I know there's at least one director in the audience. Yeah. Well, maybe that's also part of tonight. We can go and chat afterwards. If there is anyone here that is interested to get involved in whatever way, shape or form that might be. You might think, I'm not really into film, but I'm quite good at managing budgets or something. Like, if there's anything, come and chat to Andreea afterwards.
Of course, please. And, Facebook, emails, because, it's hard to talk in half an hour with all of you. And, yes, could I read the statement? I think it's rather important. Okay. So, my family has been affected by dementia for more than 20 years after my mother suffered from a brain surgery. Similar cases have not developed dementia, however she did, from a very young age too. We have been advised there might not be any relation between the two. However, we have experienced it like a single condition. In 20 years, we have lost bits of memory every day. When other people were adding memories, we would lose them. It still feels like having something stolen from you every day. While my mother is still in some form of state, what we call alive, I have lost her to a terrible condition called dementia since I was a teenager. And in all this time, I have never spoken to her about it, and she never called the word out loud, as if it never existed. I don't know if she ever understood. I don't know what she thought and what she felt about it. However, by our struggle and our effort to treat her like a normal person, like a healthy person, pretending always that nothing was wrong, we might have confiscated her identity and her space where she would have been able to express herself and challenge what was happening to her. I'll never know what she felt and what she experienced. And I think if we all do the same, we'll always be a long way behind finding the right treatment. I also come from a country where you need to hide your depression from your employer if you want to keep your job. Exposing your mental health in Romania is making yourself vulnerable to oppression and abuse. But we need to start talking about it with our families, with our friends, with our communities. I salute a film like Light in the Darkness, and hopefully it is one of the many from an open and healthy dialogue about this very silent and painful killer. Please join their cause and support the film. You might be doing it for the future, or for your future, the loved ones, or you might be doing it for the past, where you didn't know how to do it better. But with actions like this, we can learn and make it better. This statement alone, I will have it framed, because it's motivational.
I said it earlier, it's just a night of like hurting in my feelings. I think, unless there's any other questions from people out there. Yes?
There we are, another question.
Do you think that after making this film, people will change their perspective on
We hope so. We do a good job. We should definitely improve it. It should offer more complete image of it. Well, complete, but what's the word I'm looking for? Understanding, isn't it? Yeah, add pieces to the understanding, I think. See, that's why I'm the writer. There we are. Penny, hi.
Hi. Can you just clarify? I'm a bit confused. Is
That's
it more from the point of view of the dementia sufferer, or from the dementia sufferer's family carers?
So if you like imagine it, it's like as if the camera is the person. So
The camera's the person with dementia,
yeah,
and it's about how other people respond to them.
yeah. Anything?
So, so the whole film is from the perspective, literally every shot is point of view.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if that's the case, are you hoping that with what you're trying to write is to put the audience through what someone with dementia might feel, and kind of, you know, they're a bit alienated, you don't know where you are sometimes, suddenly, you know, your mind's playing tricks on you. Is that kind of the aim of what you want the audience to feel?
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely that element to it, and it's really hard because we don't know what it's like ourselves. But I think that it will shed some light on at least one perspective of how it can potentially be, and then it's a lot easier to fill in the blanks of how the family will react or how somebody else will react, because it's a lot easier to put yourself in that, like in those shoes.
I think we had a question right at the back there.
Hi. I just had a thought due to that response to POV. Have you thought about employing different actors for the same role of the different characters? So seeing how it's from the point of view of the person with dementia, say this is the person played by one actor, and the next day, without telling the audience, it's a different actor.
Yeah,
And
to
that-
make it confusing.
That was something that we
Yeah.
that was discussed. I don't know.
We should have it on our project.
Yeah, we'll get you involved. You'll be one of our consultants. Yeah.
I'm just, it just sounds like, that'd be an interesting way to describe to the audience.
He's a director.
How disjointed it would be if they
Yeah.
play the same character.
Yeah, it was definitely something that's been mentioned and discussed, and it's definitely something that I've been thinking about and looking into. I'm not really sure about if it will happen yet. I guess there's the potential to experiment a little bit before it is actually filmed.
Yeah.
Do you think it would help you as a writer if you knew who the director was and have talks whilst you're writing the film, for example, about going, oh, I suppose we could do it like this, or we could do it like this, because that might change the way you would write it. Say, taking that idea, for example, you might go, oh, actually, then I can do this scene this way, or I'll write this this way, you know?
Yeah, well, obviously, if there's a director on board already, then there will be discussions, and it will evolve. So it would be a different film if we had a director, or if we didn't have a director, I think. But I'm not leaning one way or another. Like if there is a director that comes in at this stage or at a later stage, and there's still work to do on the script, which I'm sure there will be, then that's the work that can be done. And that's what.
We're open.
Yeah.
We're open because we're learning ourselves, I think, and because it's, again, being such a huge topic, there's no way we can touch half of it if we stick with the ideas we have. And again, from the get-go, I think because we were looking for ideas, we're looking for support, we're looking for team members for our film, so we can, develop. As you can tell, we're still developing. We would take their ideas on board and see if it works for us. If not, if yes, yay. So this is what will still happen until we have a script that we can set in stone, and then we can go, okay, crowdfund, film. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah.
Who do you have on board so far? Is it just the two of you? You've done everything so far? Script, positions.
Yes. Just us at the moment, yes.
Yes.
Sorry, my question is right. Do you actually have a clear vision of the story you're wanting to tell?
Yeah.
You say you do, because I just want to know what this story is about. I know I'm using the word dimension a lot, but I still don't know what the story is, and I don't know the exact message you're trying to deliver. What is the point you're trying to make off this story?
Yeah. So, well, in regards to the first question that you had, what the story is, like, I've got like the notes. I've got what I want as a storyline, and that potentially could change because it's still being worked on. But the message that I want to get across as a writer is that this is not something that dementia, any mental illness, it's not something that needs to be hidden. This is something that you work through with your family, with people around you, because you can't do it alone, and you shouldn't have to do it alone. That's what I want. And also, like, I want it, I said at the beginning that this started as a project because I wanted the elderly to be heard, and that's still there. I still want the elderly to be heard. Yeah, but I also, like, and that now includes people who have dementia, Alzheimer's. I want them to be heard because there are those moments that they're lucid, and it's like they're fighting to be heard sometimes. Like from what I've seen or what I've read or what I've encountered, it's like they're fighting to be heard, and I want them to be.
Question down here, yeah?
Because cancer is like, everybody knows what cancer is and that it's quite important, and there's shooting stars in cancer research and all those different companies. Do you want for it to be like dementia as well, so for it to be out there and have special things?
Yes, well, there are charities dedicated to dementia, and actually we have a representative tonight from Dementia UK. Thank you for coming, Jeff, to know where you are. Hey, thank you for coming very much. And we also are working with My Life Films, which is also a dementia charity, which does, it's again so inspirational. They make films for dementia patients, and they look at them, they look back at them. It's like a little documentary about their own lives. And you can see them reacting to these films because they don't remember. There was just a video I shared actually just recently, one of the videos they made, and this lady was looking at herself and didn't remember her wedding day, her baby, and she had to be told, this is you. But she has those images in that film about her life, that celebrates her life. That's another thing we want to achieve with our film. So, again, so we're working with them, and they've been extremely helpful. So yes, there are. To answer your question, there are charities out there, and fantastic people that are doing great work for dementia.
Do we have any more questions from the audience?
There we go.
Yeah, go on, thanks.
Why dementia? Why raise awareness for it?
I think you weren't here.
Yeah, so dementia was, I think it was the thing that we encountered the most when speaking to the elderly in the homes. And when it was just going to be like a TV, like a YouTube thing, it was always, like, when I was thinking about it, it was always going to be from one person's perspective, maybe going around talking to the rest of them about their lives while that one person was in a care home. I think dementia, it was always like the thing that we kind of came back to, because there were so many, like Andreea said, there were so many different things we could have done. It was always just a thing that kind of kept coming back. So it was
When people don't want to answer.
people
Like their own
yeah.
experiences, which get us really to make this should be.
Great. Well, thank you. I think we need to kind of move
Yes,
on now, but that
we
was
need
very
music again.
enlightening. So thank you. Let's give a round of applause to Elise Jackson as well. Thank you so much. And now we have the moment you've all been waiting for, the raffle. Oh yeah, it's still in working order. I know the Essex people are excited. I would be. There's so much bingo in Essex. It's just like, we love it. So for this, I think you guys have to come up, you can help. I've done enough talking for the night. People are bored of me, I'm bored of me. Let's just hope this raffle bowl is still in a good shape. So if you want to get your raffle tickets out ready, primed. Does everyone have it? You should have all got one with your ticket. If you didn't, it's probably too late now.
Right, I really hope this works.
Microphone.
I have little helpers as well. These are my speeches. Is it? Right. So, how are we going to help? Andreea, just hold this.